Okay, couple of schools of thought. The way that I talk about it in the book, I was very conscious when I wrote the book. I wanted it to appeal to the masses because I believe that part of my ministry is reaching people that would not otherwise, like the people that I am meant to serve, they are not going to the Christian section in the bookstore
Right.
to find a book. And it was interesting because my editor is a believer and she was like, can you put a little more God in here? And I was like, I mean, I can try, but I don't want to force it. I put God where I felt God was asking to insert it into the story, but I'll take another pass. And I said, so, but I want to have a delicate hand because I believe that when people see me, they want to be accepted. And so I've got to show them the acceptance of the Lord and then let God deal with them with whatever, righteousness, indignation they need to deal with.
Come on.
So 2 schools of thought around fear. One is from like a Christian perspective that fear is a spirit, a menacing spirit that we should be rebuking at every turn. So like the fear comes up, the spirit of rejection, spirit of fear comes up. We should be rebuking that, calling it out. Say, I fear you have no authority over me. I plead the blood of Jesus and I command you to go right now. Like depart from me.
Yes.
I don't say that in the book.
But I understand. And this is the thing where people, as they become and they learn more about who God is and his word, this is the language we can use. But there are people listening even to my show who are in the business spectrum that only have this God spirituality lens. And so you're teaching.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the one, nitty gritty, right?
Yeah, but not today, Satan. Watch out.
You gotta battle in the realm of the spirit.
Right. Yeah.
In the natural, when we talk about being unafraid, well, first of all, you have to get rooted in your truth. Only then can you be unfiltered, unafraid, unbothered. The reason why we're so scared is because there's a fracture in our identity and there's a belief that I might be wrong.
Yeah.
And so the first step I say is to activate your truth and figure out who you are. What is your identity? And identity is not the roles and responsibilities. So when I ask people like, well, who are you? Tell me about yourself, especially women. Well, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a teacher, I'm a nurse, whatever their job is. I'm a coach.
Yep.
And I remind them, those are your roles and responsibilities, appointed or self-appointed, but that is not who you are. Who you are, your true identity is based on your beliefs and your values. Okay. So that's the first thing you want to do. And also, why do you believe the things that you believe? I had to examine this for myself as a Christian woman because there was a season where a lot of the Bible wasn't making any kind of sense to me, Tamra. I don't know if you've had that experience.
Totally. I've read plenty of things. I don't got it. I don't get it. I don't got it. I don't know how I'm supposed to apply it. I'm walking on.
Okay, good. Thought it was just me. So I remember going to Bible study. And at the time we were living in 29 Palms, which is like this desert city. And the church was mostly older people. And I was like one of 3 people of color. And by the way, if you're listening to this, I am fair skinned. So I'm not super melanated, but I was like a quote unquote.
So you were of color in a very white church, basically, and you're not even okay. I got it.
Not even like my skin is very
beautiful.
Fair. So I would go to these Bible studies on Wednesday nights, and I had all these questions. And I remember that as soon as I would raise my hand, the older white men would get like you could see on their face, like, oh, here we go again, this kid,
Lord.
mouth. And I say to the pastor one day, I said, Pastor, I don't think I should come back to Bible study anymore. He said, why not? I said, well, for starters, I asked too many questions and I see how these white men look at me. I don't think that they're amused. And secondly, I feel like I'm questioning God too much. This is the best advice I ever got from a pastor. He said, that's exactly why you should come, because you're questioning God. And it's important to question God and to question your faith. One of 2 things will happen. Either you will lean more into your faith and then you will have answers that satisfy, or maybe answers that don't satisfy, but that will keep you coming back and hungering to know God.
Yeah.
Or you will decide it's not for you. But either way, you'll know. He said, so keep coming and don't worry. I like your questions. They're, for him, it
Yeah.
was helping develop him as a pastor.
Absolutely.
So just like the pastor said to me, continue to ask the thoughts within ourselves. Why do I believe? Why do I believe in God? Why do I believe the Bible? Why do I believe that I can do something? Why do I believe that I can't do something? So it is this constant self-examination that is often difficult, but it is the most profound transformational work you will do. You think that the most transformational thing that you can do for your business is to invest in some sort of marketing strategy or copywriter. Those things matter.
Yeah.
But the thing that will lead to the lasting transformation is the introspective investment in yourself. The second part of that, of like getting rid of the fear. So now we know who we are. Now we know what we believe. The next step is to increase our offense capacity quotient.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? That means stop being so sensitive. That's code for stop being sensitive. You're being sensitive because you're afraid to be wrong. Give yourself permission to be wrong. And give
Oh,
yourself
that's good.
And so one of the things I say this with my clients all the time. I'll be coaching, I'll ask a question, I'll throw a supposition, and then I'll say, I'm available to be wrong.
Love
Here's
that.
my perspective. This is what I think. This is what I believe. I'm available to be wrong. Convince me. Change my mind.
Tell me otherwise. Ooh, I'm going to start using that as a parenting strategy.
Yeah, tell me otherwise. I use it with my kids all the time.
It's so good. And you can tell me otherwise. That's so good.
Yeah. Oh, I had it with my daughter the other day. She was like, I asked you to do something. I came back an hour later. She hadn't done it. I was like, it's been an hour. She's like, no, it hasn't. I was like, I came in here. I telling her the time. No, you didn't. I said, ma'am, I do a coffee enema every morning at this time. And I sent a text message at this time to Lauren Massa. And I was in your room way before that. I said, I have receipts. I said,
she was like, no.
Yeah. She was like, I don't remember that, mommy. I said, well, what you remember and what actually happened, recollections may vary. Thank God for timestamps.
So good.
You do not. I win this one.
Now clean your room.
I teach. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. But I teach my children to debate with me.
Yeah, that's good.
Don't want that because it creates a lot of headaches for me personally. That drives me up the wall. But I let them debate with me. I let them negotiate with me because I want them to have that skill set moving forward. Some of us, myself included, were not afforded that opportunity.
It's very good.
I was told children are meant to be seen, not heard, speak only when spoken to. So I never got to challenge authority.